Hello, buddy. Welcome back to the show. I've got my new friend Daryl, and Daryl's one of my subscribers. He was kind enough to come all the way here from. Where'd you come from?
I came from Porrock.
And how?
It's in Pampanga.
How long did it take you to get here?
I took a bus. It was a few hours, and the flight was about 2 hours.
Wow, it's a long way to come. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been I'm one of your fans for a long time.
So you're originally, you say, from San Diego?
Yes.
I lived in San Diego back in the 70s and again back in the 80s. It's a beautiful city, nice place to live.
I moved there originally in '74 from Oregon, and
we were there at the same time.
Yeah. And I mean, I woke up one day. I stayed at a friend's house in Pacific Beach. I woke up, I walked around the corner, I looked. There was the ocean. The sun was shining. From that moment forward, I never wanted to be anywhere else until I decided to come here.
Nice, nice. Yeah, Oregon was fantastic, and San Diego was wonderful. I was managing a hotel back then, back in like 1970, I guess it would have been 75, 76, called the Knox Hotel, which was a real flea bag, shitty hotel that was, but I got a free apartment. That's why me and my friend managed it. Yeah. And the rooms there were $27 a week.
Now, was this in Oregon or San Diego?
San Diego.
Yeah. I don't remember a Knox Hotel there.
No, it was like, it wasn't much to remember. But anyway, you got a free apartment out of it. So anyway, what was your childhood like? Where'd you grow up? You grew up in Oregon?
Yeah, my father was in a business where we moved around. I mean, by the time I was in the 6th grade, I had been to 12 different schools from kindergarten forward. And then I just left Oregon when I was like 17.
What did your father do?
He actually worked in sawmills. And so he would go from one job to the next and always get a little bit of an increase in raise when he would go from one place to the next.
So what year did you graduate high school, like 74, 75?
I would have graduated in 74, but
same years as me.
I left home early. I went to college later, but I left home early, like when I was 16, and then for good when I was 17. I was actually emancipated by the state.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, they took me in and picked me up as a runaway, and they took me in, and
Who's they? Who's they?
The county of Douglas County in Oregon. So, you need to go back with your mother. I said, well, I'm not going to. I said, well, you can't live on your own. I said, well, what do you mean? I have an apartment, I have a pickup, I have a sports car, and I have a full-time job. And the owner of the corporation said that he would come and stand by me. I said, I'm not moving back. I'm just not. I don't need to. Well,
did you get along with your mother or what?
Huh?
Did you not get along with your mother?
Since birth, I didn't get along with her. Spare the rod and spoil the child. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so going back and forth, finally it got to the point, well, we can put you in a boys' farm. I said, you know what? The only place you can keep me till I don't want to be there is behind bars and chains, and you move the chains and I'll be gone. I said, I haven't done anything wrong. I'm just not going to do it. They said, okay. You're on your own, and if you get in trouble, we'll put you away. I said, fair enough. So they left me alone.
You were 17 or 16?
17.
Wow. What was the job you had?
I worked in a truck stop.
Wow. What was the pay back then, you remember?
Whatever it was minimum wage. I'm thinking 75 cents an hour, maybe $1.25. It was like...
Yeah, I was getting $1.35 back then working in a furniture store as a stock boy.
Yeah, so it was probably $1.25, $1.10, something like that.
Wow. And you had an apartment with that. That's amazing.
$40 a month.
Wow.
$40 a month.
So you had an apartment, you had a truck?
Yeah, I had a 53 Chevrolet pickup.
Wow, that truck's worth some money today if you had it.
Yeah, it was kind of I probably paid like $80 for it or something, and I had a little MG.
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah, it was a black one, and I traded a Mustang that had electrical problems for it. So.
Wow. So you're in San Diego working at a truck stop.
No, the truck stop was in Oregon before.
Oh, it was in Oregon, okay.
Yeah, when I was 17.
And so when did you move to San Diego?
I moved to San Diego in 74. I'd been there originally the first time in 73, and then I went back. And when I went back, I stayed at a friend's house, walked around the corner, saw it, and from that point forward, I never wanted to be anywhere else. And it was just paradise for me.
And but how were you surviving in San Diego as a teenager, and it's much more expensive than Oregon?
Had a job at a gas station in San Diego, not a truck stop. And, just back then it wasn't that expensive. My first apartment in San Diego was $110 a month, and that was a one-bedroom cottage on the ocean in Ocean Beach.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just think what it goes for today.
Then
Wow.
I moved in with a friend of mine who had a rock band, so that was always exciting, and it was also very close to the beach, and we split rent on that. You could do that on minimum wage in those days.
Yeah, it's all changed now, huh?
Oh,
Like,
big time.
I read something the other day that was saying that there's not one major city in America where a person working a minimum wage job could afford a studio apartment.
You know what? In January, San Diego was considered the most expensive city in America compared to the average wage. Now, New York, San Francisco, obviously, they're more
Yeah.
expensive, but then their average wage is higher. And a studio was about $1,800 a month, probably, and not in La Jolla, not in Pacific Beach. And you know, I looked at the lifestyle here. I'd been here twice already, and this is where I wanted to be.
So when was the first time you came to the Philippines?
2014, December.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you just did some research and decided you wanted to come to the Philippines?
You know, I'd met some girls online, and I just wanted to go someplace. I'd been working for a few years. I just wanted to take a break, go on vacation. And when I found out I have a lot of Filipino friends in San Diego, and I found out how cheap it was to just come and stay by the ocean, $10 a night for a room or whatever. And so I just decided to come here. And I did, and I enjoyed the experience. I went to CDO, I was in Manila for a while, Pasay, and then I met a girl there, and then came back in 2016 and moved back in February of 22.
So were you here during COVID?
No, I would have been, but you know,
You got stuck in America?
you know, if I would have been on my toes and I would have moved fast enough, I would have been here. I would have been COVID. But because I had a job, okay, I'll take this job, I'll take that job, I'll finish it, and then I'll go. COVID hit and they closed up.
So what were you doing back in America, though, from, you know, those years in San Diego? Like, what was your main career?
Well, I was bartending for a bit, went to school,
What'd you study?
economics.
Okay.
And then I was talking to a guy where I was bartending one day, and I wanted to put together a limited partnership and do a nightclub and so on. And he said, well, what are you waiting for? I said, well, I want to get my CPA's license. He said, well, why? If you're going to start a nightclub, you're not going to be an accountant.
Yeah.
So I kind of went with that and got involved in finance, trying to get my nightclub financed, and ended up staying in the finance business, financing real estate.
Oh, wow.
Never got the nightclub financed, but it got me into that, which ended up being my career.
And so you're in real estate for how many years?
35.
35 years, wow. Are you working for like a bank or something, or a real estate agency?
I did. I worked for myself with a little mortgage company. I worked for,
Oh, so you're a mortgage broker.
I was a mortgage broker for a while, and then I worked for banks. And then in '74, a friend of mine and I started a mortgage bank, and we only got loans from wholesale from other mortgage brokers. We didn't deal directly with the public. That was kind of my model. We did loans between $1 million and $10 million. That was kind of our thing. And so technically, you could say I started a bank, but it was a mortgage bank. It's not where you buy CDs and things, but it's just, that's where I ended up in the finance business. And then when the crash happened, I got out of it and I got into construction.
Yeah, both of my brothers and my father too had a mortgage company in Florida, and my youngest brother still has a very big mortgage company in Florida and also in North Carolina. But you know, I never got into it. So you got into construction. What were you doing in construction?
Construction, I was doing hardscape, like we'd tear out people's driveways and put in pavers, or that kind of thing. Turf, pavers, do the irrigation, all that kind of stuff, grade it. And I really enjoyed the design aspect of it. I didn't enjoy the physical construction, but I enjoyed the problem was I didn't speak Spanish, so keeping the crews going and making it work right was always a challenge.
So you came to the Philippines more, not because there's anything wrong with America. You sound like you came to the Philippines just because you like the Philippines, you like the lifestyle here, and I assume that, you know, at least for me, it was financial. Like my money went a whole lot farther over here compared to in California or Kentucky where I was living before.
No, I came here for financial reasons because of the way things got in America.
Yeah.
Politically, monetarily, inflation-wise. I moved here, like I say, a studio apartment was around $1,800 a month, and I mean, you can find a place here for $180 a month. I mean, a small little place.
Yeah.
the equivalent of what would cost you $1,800 there. So that it became real easy to come here. And then when they were closed for so long, I was contemplating going to Nepal. I was just 67. I was tired of waiting to retire. And then all of a sudden it opened up here, boom. I came over here.
And so I assume you started collecting your Social Security at 62?
No, 67.
Oh, you waited, huh?
Yeah, I'll be 69 in December.
So I guess you get more money that way, huh?
Yeah, and you know,
I had to do it at 62.
It wasn't my intention to do that. It's just that I kept, because I was doing the construction, I do job by job by job by job by job. So I just kept taking jobs until finally I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm too old. I'm beating up my body working heavy construction, and I'm just done. And then it did work out to more money.
Now, do you have a pension or anything like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
With Social Security. No, I have nothing else.
Just
In
Social
the banking
Security.
stuff, all my assets and everything I had was in the bank, which kind of went sideways.
So you got your Social Security, and so you know, the Philippines is one of the few places that an average Social Security check is more than enough to live here.
I'll put it to you this way. With an average Social Security, I can travel and video 365 days a year.
Wow.
You stay in hotels. Okay, so let's say you pay $1,500 a night. That's what, 45,000 pesos?
Yeah.
Okay, 45,000. If you're getting an average Social Security, you're getting somewhere near 100,000 pesos, 9,200. I think that's today's average.
That's like about $1,000, right?
About 1,800.
Okay.
So I think 1,800 is the national average for America. So with that, I mean, you can live in hotels if you're not getting too lavish, and if you're not afraid to shop at the local markets and
Yeah, hotel. You can get a nice hotel here for $20 a night. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at the Five Soleil, and I mean, it's a 5-year-old building, elevator, no chip paint. You know, it's perfect. I'm like 1 block to ground zero, exactly.
Wow.
Which is where I've met a lot of people.
So, what's your plans for the future now? Like you said, did you say you built a house here?
I built a little house. Yeah, it cost around $5,000 US dollars. I sent some money ahead to get it started. When I added the bedroom, this is the one I remember the statistics the best. When I added the bedroom, I added the walls, ceiling, all that stuff, canned lights in there, electrical, everything, including the air con, window, and another door. All of that for about $750.
Wow, that's amazing.
I think technically it's $740. Then when I got here, I did some more improvements, tiled the floors, you know, painted, did a few other things, but the walls were already smooth, they just weren't painted. And the ceilings.
So you're walking away from that, though, right? You're letting your girlfriend have that, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's her land, and we were long distance relationship for about 7 years.
Oh, so you didn't have to buy the land; she already had the land.
It was already hers, and I knew that every penny I put into it, I'd walk away from if something ever happened.
Yeah, that's how most of us do feel. You know, we realize that.
I knew that going in, and I wasn't going to let that stop me from doing a nice place and having it.
How long were you with her?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, but
That's a long time.
yeah, but all but about 50, 60 days of that was long distance,
Okay.
and we both evolved. You know, she was a lot more simple when we met, and you know, I'm one of those who kind of has to have my way about certain things. Not everything's important to me, but what is important to me is very important, and I need to have my way on those things.
Like, give me an example.
Not running up credit.
Oh yeah.
You know, not taking credit cards and just maxing them out because you can.
Most Filipinos don't even have credit cards.
Well, if you do, and you're married to a Filipina, then you know you have.
Well, they say buying thing on, what do they call it? Buying on not consignment, but installment. Like they buy their cell phones on installment, their computers on installment, their motorcycles on installment. They don't have no interest. If you talk to them, they have no idea what the interest rate is, and sometimes
it's 100%.
Yeah, it can be 100%. You know, and they don't realize how much they're paying. They just know that, oh, I can buy that new phone, and the payment's only 2,000 pesos a month. You know, they don't realize that they're paying 50, 60, 70% interest on that phone.
Yeah, but that's just an example.
But,
I mean, there's a culture difference.
Yeah, but they trick them too. They don't tell them. Like I went to buy a used motorcycle for my wife when I first got here, and they had all these used motorcycles. They were repos, and I said, well, how much is this? Well, it's 3,000 pesos a month. I said, well, how much is it to buy it? and they wouldn't tell me. So, well, what's the interest rate? They wouldn't tell me. They literally would not tell me what the interest rate was.
They don't have those laws here, and that's the reason they have the laws in America.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of Filipinos are taken advantage of by these finance companies.
I think that the interest rate is nearly 100%.
Dude, that's
Literally.
Good. That's insane.
Yeah, when I went talking to him, I wanted to buy when I lost my phone, I wanted to buy a S23 Ultra, and it's like $75,000. So if I put $50,000 down, I've still got to end up paying another $50,000 before it's paid off.
Wow.
So
it doesn't pay to finance things here.
yeah, it's just things like that where there's, like I'm okay to just walk and get on a jeepney and go buy my vegetables, come back on a jeepney and walk home. And she's
What are you doing now where you live? Do you have a motorcycle or something?
No, I walk. I had a car when I got here, and then the motor blew up, and there was couldn't find parts for it.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So I got rid of it, and I just haven't got. I'm going to probably get a little Jeep, and they have these owner type Jeeps where.
I've seen those. They look like a Jeep, but they're not a Jeep or something else.
And you can get them for like $50,000.
Yeah, a little Suzuki Jimmy. A lot of people have
I
those.
love those.
My neighbor's had one. He loves it.
Yeah. The other one would be like the Mitsubishi Pajero.
Yeah, Pajeros. Yeah, that's the same as the Mitsubishi Montero that they used to make back in America. I bought mine in the early 2000s. It was like $30,000 back then when I was in Utah, but I bought it brand new. It was a great vehicle, and they're making the exact same ones now here, and they call it the Pajero. I'm not sure what they go for, but I've seen quite a few of those, and they're quite popular here. You can pick up used ones pretty cheap.
And if you get a car here, you really want to get a diesel.
Yeah.
I mean, very few cars here are gasoline that I've run into that I've looked
that's
to buy.
true. Yeah. Get better gas mileage with a diesel.
And you know, Isuzu here seem to be a very popular model. You see the huge trucks have Isuzu engines, so that they've got the technology. And the thing about it is when you have to replace something, their parts are everywhere.
Right.
Like a Chevy or a Ford in America.
Yeah, that's true. Same with like the Rusi, they call them the Ruscos, you know, the little truck type, van type things they sell here, and the Suzuki, same thing. So what are your plans now? Like, you know, this relationship is over. She's keeping the house. Are you going to stay where you are? Are you going to move to another island, or where are you going to settle down? Any plans?
Well, I'm getting a place near there because that's where all my friends are.
Okay.
I'm the only foreigner in that area, and other than, I mean, you and I have talked as much since I've been here as the entire time I've lived here, talking to people I have to bump into at SM Clark or somewhere else, because I'm the only foreigner that lives where I'm at. So all my friends are there. Then I'll be traveling probably 3/4 of the time, probably maybe spend about a week or every other month in Baguio.
Where are you planning on traveling to?
The Philippines.
Just the Philippines, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a video while I'm here, and on my channel, the video, like, if you're coming to Angeles, which I recommend as opposed to Manila, literally, if you're coming internationally and you got to go through customs and everything, from the time you step off the plane, you're looking at 25 minutes before you've already got your baggage and you're out looking for a taxi.
Right.
Because they'll have, you know, they got a huge airport, and it's about like Dumaguete. You got 12 flights coming in, 12 flights leaving a day. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's so fast and so simple. So anyway, the video is when you walk out of the airport, you know, 20 yards, there's where all the taxis are. Absolutely straight ahead 70 yards is where the buses are. Bus to Baguio, bus to Manila, and bus to Dao. Dao is in Angeles where hotels are and that type of thing. So it shows you where to go from the time you walk off the plane, where to get where you're going to go, what to expect, how much to pay to get to the hotel, how much the hotel is going to cost, and if you want to go to Baguio or Manila or wherever you want to go, it shows you that when you walk out of the Sogo, which I've recommended, you walk around, it shares a common wall with the Dow bus terminal. So then you just walk around, and I asked, for example, where's Chinatown? Oh, get in the Avenida bus. So I went down, the guy's waving because he yelled out Avenida. I got on the bus, I got there. And then when you get off at Avenida, where you go. So it's kind of one of those things where you can, if you're coming all by yourself, you're feeling a little timid about it, you can actually see what's going to happen when you land. It's the whole purpose of my videos.
So that's what you do in every video. You're going to travel around the Philippines and just give information on what it's like when you arrive there?
Yeah, and in Baguio, I have 20 videos of Baguio. I'll have Mines View, botanical gardens, all the special things that make Baguio special.
Wow.
And those are all like 20 different videos. So they're all like 3 to 5 minutes long. And now the last ones I'm doing, I've got a video to Baguio, and it'll be maybe 15 to 20 minutes long, but it shows getting on the bus, the same as the other, picks up where the other video left off. And then where the hotels are, sessions on Sunday, the Ukai, the public market, Burnham Park, all the different places that you'd want to go. And
What's the name of your channel?
it's Pensive Expat.
Okay.
So it's EX-pensive_expat.
Okay, and we'll put a link in the description, guys. If you go to the description of this video, you'll see a link to Daryl's YouTube channel. So please subscribe to it, like his videos, and share them with your friends.
Ah, please, thank you.
Yeah. So you've been in the Philippines for, you know, quite a few years now. What's your overall opinion of Philippines? Like if someone back home says, hey, you know, what's it like living in the Philippines? You know, how would you describe it?
I would tell them that my story, in a sense, which is not unlike yours completely. What brings people here is the beauty of the country and how you can live in a nice country on a reasonable budget. But once you come here and you meet the people, that's what gets you to want to stay here.
Yeah.
That's what really you fall in love with. The beauty, there's many places in the world, but this is certainly one of the more beautiful places. And then when you meet the people, they're just amazing.
Don't you feel welcome here, like that they want you here as a foreigner?
Yes.
That's how I feel too.
And I've been to a lot of places where you're an American, they don't want you.
Yeah, that's true.
They resent you.
Yeah.
I don't get that here at all.
It's funny, I started traveling around the world when I was like 22 working on cruise ships. I went, I don't know how many countries, almost 100 countries. And back then, in the early 80s, you go to countries and oh, you're an American, wow. They were so excited to meet Americans, so happy to meet an American, and, you know, wanted to know all about you and everything. And that's changed. A lot of places that, you know, we used to go, even when I went to Russia, I
was in Ukraine in 95 and 94, 95, both. And you're like a little rock star.
Yeah, yeah. I was in Malaysia back again in the 80s, and I went to McDonald's because I was stupid. I was 23 years old, and I thought that since McDonald's is American, they must take dollars, you know? So I go into McDonald's and I order my food, and I go to pay with dollars. And no, sir, you got to have, you know, whatever the Malaysian currency is. I don't even remember. And I didn't have any. I was on a bus tour with some passengers, and so I shoved the food back and walked out. I'm walking down the street, and the manager comes running after me, and he's got the food with him. He's, sir, you know, American, yeah, and he says, here, gave me all the food for free.
Well,
just because I was American.
We're used to Mexico, where you can just go down there and you can use dollars or.
Yeah, so that's true. So you're going to be here for how long now?
You know, I found I'm going to be here till I think the 22nd. I'll be pulling out and heading back up to Pampanga.
Do you want to talk about your diagnosis at all, or?
Yeah, I came here and I had basal cell carcinoma, and a couple people looked at it and said, "Oh, it's just a scratch." And then, you know, I just said, "I'm going to go get it looked at." So
Where'd you go? Where did you go?
There's a dermatologist right next to the hospital. So between the Bethel.
Which hospital? Silliman?
AU or Silliman, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
So it's right by Bethel, and then you walk down. It's like a half a block away, and then about a half a block after that is the hospital.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the name actually.
Yeah.
So they checked it out. She did some kind of not a laser, but some ultraviolet light, and it showed it. And so I'd had one many years ago, and I was afraid that's what it was. So I'm basically going to be here. I'm supposed to find out today or tomorrow when the surgery will happen, and then I'll have that, and it'll take about
They tell you what that's going to cost?
Yeah, that's a good one. And then it'll take about 2 weeks to get the stitches out. So the total cost is $100.
Wow.
$5,000, which is $4,500 for the surgery and $500 for the place where they have the surgery.
Wow, $100.
$100.
I wonder what that would cost in San Diego. 5,000?
I think your copay would be more than $500. Would be more than $100.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know, every 6 months or so, I will just go in and I'll give them a bunch of blood. They say, "What kind of test you want?" I just say all of them. Cost me $40. and then I'll have the results by the next day. I mean, they'll do everything from testosterone to triglycerides, melatonin. I mean, just everything. Blood cell counts, your sugar, all of that stuff, cholesterol. And then I'll take it to my doctor, and he gouges me for $6.
Yeah, my doctor charges me 10.
So for $6, well, I'm in a small town, but for $6, he reads through it. He's knowledgeable, and I'm good to go. I had a pneumonia, and I didn't know what I had, but I thought I knew it wasn't good. So I went to see him, and he sent me down to get X-rays and sonogram of it. So I went and did that. It was 2 hours till that was finished. So I went and got those, took it back to him, and he went through it all, and he said, we've got these issues. And so within between 9 and noon, all of this happened. I was walking out of his office probably 10 to noon.
Wow.
He should only charge me for one doctor visit. Said, you got pneumonia. Got my prescription, and I was done.
You know, there's a prescription or a vaccine for pneumonia.
Yeah.
I've got it, and I'm glad I did. There's also one for shingles.
I've had both of them.
Oh, really? And you still got pneumonia?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I've had it almost every year of my life, either bronchitis or pneumonia. And they're, you know, they have to
I was under the impression if you had the vaccine for pneumonia, you didn't get pneumonia, period.
Me too.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's not good.
But
So you're basically self-insuring then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what most guys are doing.
Yeah, I think that the general consensus of everybody that here, if they don't have insurance on a monthly basis, is, you know, have a credit card with some room on it. Because when you show up needing services, they're going to want to get paid.
Yeah, they'll usually take a credit card.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's like, you know, usually like guys our age, the stuff that happens to you is usually minor things. But back in America, if you can't afford the copay or you don't have insurance, you don't go to the doctor, and then that little thing becomes a big thing, and it kind of cascades one thing after another. Next thing you know, you're dying. Whereas here, you can go to the doctor for the least little thing and catch things early, so you've got a better chance. Of course, you know, if I came down with like cancer or needed heart surgery, I would probably either go to Manila to St. Luke's, which is supposed to be one of the finest hospitals in all of Asia, or maybe even to Thailand. I don't think I would go back to America, even though I've got Medicare, if I would go back there or not. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, there's in Angeles there, I went to it was a medical school hospital. And I'd say about a third or half the doctors went to medical school in America.
Oh, really? Wow.
And you have so many Americans going to medical school other places.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of medical schools here in the Philippines, you know, especially in Cebu and Manila.
Yeah.
So you're going to get the stitches taken out where you're living now? You're not going to get that done here?
I don't know. I haven't completely decided. I've been, you know, the longer I'm here, the more and more things I see that I want to kind of video. And I'm supposed to go visit this place, Critters, this afternoon, and then they'll do a shallow dive with you. And it's like... I
don't know about today. It's not a very good day for diving.
Well, today I'm just going to go video and just do a little bit of that. In my Baguio video, it starts where when I did some footage out the window of the plane landing, coming down the steps, walking over to where it says arriving, a little bit inside where the baggage comes through, and then how to walk out to find a taxi. And then a bit about my hotel, and then I'll start doing some other things like the boardwalk, maybe the little scuba diving thing. I've been to Valencia. I went up to Red Rock. I went to some of those places up there.
Oh, you got around.
Camp.
Forest camp.
Forest camp.
Yeah.
So I got that kind of stuff. So I don't want to do a really huge long one because most of mine are pretty short, but I want to kind of say, when you come to Dumaguete, this is what's here. And hopefully what I can do is include a little bit of our interview. And I said, you know, this is somebody I met when I was here. This is somebody I met was here. So I've got part of the people that I met. And there's guys that I met at Ground Zero.
Yeah.
And I mean, they invited me over my first day that I was there. And then I started to met maybe 6 or 8 people first day.
It's so easy to make friends here. It really is.
It's incredibly easy.
Especially, you know, Ground Zero, why not? There's several places, Tom Tom's, where locals hang out and they see you, they never see, hey, what's your name? Never seen you before. And they're just curious about who you are. Nobody wants to sell you anything or get anything from you. They're just curious about who you are, want to make friends with you.
I can say this, that if you come and you get off the airplane and you get to your hotel, if you go to ground zero in the morning, you're going to have friends by noon. You just will, and everybody is friendly.
That's true.
They have Bible studies there. I mean, it's a very welcoming situation.
Yeah. And what's so nice is, like, I know so many people now since I've been here 5 years.
Everybody knows you.
Yeah. But if, say I had to, I wanted to get a new visa, or I wanted to get a driver's license, or, rent a new apartment, whatever, somebody knows somebody who can help you.
Yeah.
And like, for example, I'm shipping a bunch of ballot buy-in boxes from America here, and this guy Goldfinger, he did the same thing like a couple of years ago, and he's telling me all the ins and outs. Well, you got to do this, and you can fill out this form, and cost this much money, and so when I go home, I'm prepared. I know exactly what to expect.
He's the first guy I met.
Yeah.
And I was sitting down there and going to order a sandwich or something, and he said, "How you doing?" I said, "Fine." He goes, "You want to join me?" So I went over and sat with him.
Yeah.
And he introduced himself. And on the ballot buy-in boxes, they will deliver if LBC is not too far away, and they'll also come pick up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got a friend of mine, one of my subscribers in Kentucky, and he's already got me 10 boxes and found out where I'm going to drop them off, which is a Filipino grocery where once a month they come by with a whole empty container on a flatbed truck and fill it up with boxes going to the Philippines, and it goes from there on a train to Atlanta on a ship, and then here. And all kind of worked out, so I know exactly what I'm going to be doing to ship all my stuff here that I've been storing for 5 years, paying $150 a month for nothing.
I did the same thing. I did exactly the same thing.
Do you ship stuff here already?
Yeah, I did it before I left.
How much did you ship? How many boxes?
5.
5?
And I could have done with 2.
And what did...
you don't know what you're going to not need until you get here.
How long did it take to get them? 2 months?
No, I think it was less, maybe 6 weeks.
Really?
Maybe.
Wow.
Well,
But San Diego's a port city.
San Diego's like a port city.
You got Long Beach
or LA,
there.
boom, they're gone.
Yeah, probably went out of Long Beach, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I highly recommend them. And the thing that I liked about LBC and those boxes is it doesn't matter what they weigh.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
You can put car parts in there.
Yeah, you can put lead bars in there if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is by the pound, by the ounce, and it's like,
Did you have to list everything that was inside, or how did that work?
I don't remember. I think so.
Yeah.
I just put clothes or whatever.
Well, another question I've been asking guys recently that I've interviewed, like in your lifetime, what's like the hardest thing you had to go through, the biggest challenge you ever had to
Divorce,
deal with?
custody, bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, me too. Except both of
Custody
those.
was the worst. Bankruptcy and that's always so. And when you're in finance, those things always happen in the recession.
Yeah.
And things are going great, and you live life like it's going great, and then all of a sudden, the spigot shuts off, and
Yeah.
you're toast.
Yeah.
That it hurts your pride, hurts your ego.
Yeah, it's terrible. Well, to sit there, and for me, it was like this. It was such an agonizing process. It went on for months, where I'm literally surviving by selling my stuff on eBay and on Craigslist, and that was the money that was coming in. And then finally, you get down to your house, and they said if it was broom swept, they would give me $3,000, and then I'd vacate my own house, And so I made sure it was broom swept. And they came over, and a real sleazy guy that came over. That was his job to inspect my house to see if it's clean enough, and then gave me this check for $3,000, and it all felt so horrible. It just feels horrible to lose everything and give all your things you paid a lot of money for. You're selling for pennies. And then I was able to put some of it into a storage locker, and I've still got few of my prized possessions, in a storage locker, which I'm going to ship here and just give to my wife.
I had a gimbal desk. Now they cost $6,000-7,000 new.
Wow.
And I had a dining room set, which was solid ash. I inherited it insurance-wise. It was worth about 10 grand for insurance purposes, because it was all hand carved.
Yeah.
I could not give it away. I took it to Father Joe's in San Diego. They would not take it because nobody buys that high-end furniture. You couldn't give it away.
Yeah.
Could not give it away.
Yeah, my stuff my furniture I took to like a consignment shop and dropped it off, and and they decide what they're going to sell it for. You have no say in it. And so months goes by, and finally they sold like $4,000 worth of stuff for like, $500.
Well, you did better than I did on some things.
Yeah. So anyway, it just makes you sick. It makes you realize though, possessions, I'm not a materialistic person, never have been, but here in the Philippines, I don't find myself lusting after a new this or new that. Like if I don't need it, I don't buy it. Like all the furniture in this house, except for a couple of things, came with the apartment. It's all nice stuff, all custom built, but it came with the apartment. I didn't buy any of it. I don't want to own any of it.
I went through years, probably in my 30s and maybe early 40s, where I was pretty darn materialistic.
Yeah.
I mean, I really was, honestly. And now I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't
really
either.
don't. The only things that mean anything to me are the keepsake things that happen with your children, or a little jacket or some kind of thing. Pictures, but I really don't want for anything. I bought a stove and a range for the hood range for my little house, and I didn't want to pay more than 10,000 pesos. I didn't want the big Wolf and all the Sub-Zero stuff. It's like, didn't care.
So the next question and last question is like, so in your life, if you look back and say, that was the best decision I ever made, something that really changed your life coming here? Yeah, me too.
I mean, I made so many decisions and so many things happened as a result. Now, on Social Security, I'm retired, and I see what life can be like here. And it's just a whole new thing. It's like, it's an absolute different phase of life. And being retired, being here, now becoming not very materialistic, but I enjoy the scenery and all the other things that life has to offer. This is probably one of the best places for it because of the culture of the people around us.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the few places you can go and live on Social Security and have a good lifestyle. If it's to say if you've gone through a bankruptcy like we had and you don't have a bunch of money in the bank or a big savings, and you just come here and you've got that money coming in every month, and in America you'd be in poverty basically. You'd be living in some shitty little place, driving a terrible car, getting bills in the mail every day.
I'd have had to move out of San Diego.
Yeah.
I would have had to move out too.
Yeah, I couldn't afford San Diego either. I couldn't afford anywhere, what I was making. But here, like we go shopping, we don't worry about what the cost for things. We want to go to dinner, we go to dinner. Of course, I've got my YouTube money too, but it just, that financial pressure that I had for so many years, struggling is gone. I think
the biggest hurdle for people coming here is not knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
And I think most of those people, the people that I've been talking to lately who are here at Dumaguete, and quite a few of them have been here less than a year, they are all ecstatic about being here. Every single one of them.
I agree.
Every one of them would say, I think, probably the best decision they've made.
Well, I'm going back to America in less than 10 days for 2 weeks, and I bought my ticket already. I've got money to spend while I'm there, and but I'm more apprehensive about going back there. I'm happy to see my family and all that, but I'm more apprehensive about this trip than I was coming here 5 years ago with no money, maxed out credit cards, didn't know a single person, staying in a crappy Airbnb where I had a mattress on the floor and a fan screwed to the wall and no screens, no motorbike, and I was going to be tutoring English for basically $5 an hour.
Yeah.
And I was more apprehensive about going back than I was coming here.
It's not the same country.
I know. That's what I hear. Everybody keeps telling me that.
I mean, I'm proud to be an American.
Me too.
Always have been. Wouldn't want to be a citizen anywhere else in particular. But I mean, the things that have happened in the last 3 years are just unbelievable. And there was a time, having been here twice, there was a time when I thought I could never live here. Just didn't think I could. Because of being materialistic probably and a few other things. And once I got here, it's like, this is the most natural, normal way to feel.
Yeah, if you just lower your expectations and realize that the Philippines is the Philippines, it's not America, it's not, Australia or UK, and, you can't change it. Things are the way they are. And if you just sit back and accept things as they are, and most important, most advice I give people is just be patient. If you're patient and you're nice and you're friendly and you smile at people, they'll help you out and eventually we'll get things sorted out no matter what it is.
The first thing you need to bring here is your patience.
Yeah.
It's the first thing. It's more important than money.
I agree 100%. Well, anyway, it's so nice meeting you, Daryl. Really appreciate it. Everybody, please check out his channel and share his videos and subscribe. And I'm sure we'll be doing some other videos in the future. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you next time. Bye.